Welcome back, dear students. As you know, all in our previous class we have started the topic that is cell structure, and we were studying about the cell membrane or plasma membrane and the cell wall. Let us continue that same topic and let us study in detail about the cell wall. Cell wall. What is a cell wall? Cell wall is the outermost layer of the cell, so which we can observe in some of the cells. So like cells of the plant, fungi, bacteria, we can observe the cell wall. All the organism cells containing the cell membrane, but cell wall is present only in some of the organisms. So like plant cell is containing the cell wall, fungi cell is containing the cell wall, and the bacteria cell is also containing the cell wall. Then what is the cell wall? So let us study in detail at first about the nature, next structure and the function. So how it is in the nature? So cell wall is the rigid, it is the toughest membrane we can say, and it is the present outermost layer of the cell, and it is specifically designed to provide the structural support and the rigidity for the cell. So this cell wall is what? Cell wall is the rigid external layer that is specifically designed to provide the structure and support and rigidity for the cell. It gives strength for the cell. It gives strength for the cell. It protects from various climatic conditions. So you know that plants, they should withstand for all the climatic conditions. There will be the winter season, summer, rainy season, and various harmful animals will be there. So they should protect themselves from all those climatic conditions. So there is a cell wall. So that can protect them from various harmness. Is it a cell wall is a thick layer which is present at uttermost layer of the cell. It is present at the outer side of the cell. It is a thick layer and it is a rigid in nature, and it is a very strong we can say, and it gives the strength to the cell. Is it right? So how it is in nature, I have said you, it is a rigid, and this it is a toughest and external layer which gives, it is designed for specifically it is designed specifically to provide a structural support and the rigidity. So this is about cell wall's nature. So let us study about the structure of the cell wall. How the cell wall is there? So cell wall, already have said you, cell wall is a non-living part of the cell. You know that in the cell there are the two types of the parts, living parts and the non-living parts. In the non-living part, cell wall is there. It is the non-living part of the cell, and it is freely permeable. So it will be containing a small pores called as the pits. So through that what happen? Various materials like a carbon dioxide, maybe various gases, it may be food, water and minerals, they will pass through those pores. So it is called as freely permeable. Next is about how it is made up of what? So cell is made up of the toughest carbohydrates called as the polysaccharides. So in various organisms, so we can observe the various carbohydrates are present. So like in the all the plants we can observe, so a cell wall is made up of the cellulose, and you take in the bacteria and fungi, it is made up of the pectin, and in some of the organism it is made up of the hemicellulose. So it is made up of mainly it is made up of the carbohydrates. Understanding? So how it is made up of? It is made up of the fibrous polysaccharides called as the cellulose. So next is about cell wall is present in all the plant cells. Already I have said you, all the plants are containing the cell wall, and fungi, even the bacteria and the algae, they are containing the cell wall. I have said you only some organisms are containing the cell wall. So which are all the plant cells? Bacteria cell, fungi cell, algae cell, they will be containing cell wall. So they need protection, they need strength. Is it right? So for that what they are having various organisms, they are having the cell wall. You know that cell wall will give a particular shape for the cell wall. So you know that the animal cell and the plant cell. So plant cell is having a particular shape. It is because of the presence of a cell wall. It gives a shape for the cell. Which one? So that cell wall gives a particular shape for the cell. Is it right? And it is also gives a particular structure for the cell. Is it right? So you know the difference between the cell, animal cell and the plant cell. Plant cell will be having a particular shape and structure. It is because of a cell wall. So about what this plant, this plant cell wall is generally arranged in a 3 layer. So if you observe the plant cell under the microscope, we can get various layers here. There are mainly 3 layers we can observe. Those are the primary cell wall, next is the middle lamella, and the secondary wall. So primary cell, so you know that it is a cell, so it is the arrangement of the cell, we can say. So very nearest to the cell there is one of the layer, that layer is called as the primary cell, and it is at first it will be designed. Understanding who has designed it? Primary wall is designed at first, and it helps to it helps in the stretching of the cell wall. So sometime what happen, water will comes into the cell. Is it right? That time cells should stretch, it should expand its size. So in that what happen, primary cell wall helps to expand the cell. Next is about the middle lamella. It is the outermost layer of the cell we can say. And it is what it helps in the interconnection between the neighboring cells. So some material should transfer from one cell to the another cell, and other one cell to the outer medium, and from the outer medium some material should enter to the cell. So who will help in that? The middle lamella. Then after that there is the secondary wall. It is present inside the primary wall. It is present inside the primary wall, and it gives the rectangular shape for the plant cell. Understanding? It is about the 3 layers of the cell wall which is present in the plant. Understanding? So plant cells observation we have done under the microscope, and we got the 3 layers. Those are the primary cell, the middle lamella, and the secondary cell wall. So understanding? So it is about what? Various layers of the cell wall. It is various layers of the cell wall. Next we'll study in detail about the function of the cell wall. Already you know the main important function of the cell wall is a protection for the cell, and it also gives a strength to the cell. Is it right? Let us see some of the functions I have written on the board here. So the plant cell wall provides a definite shape, strength, and the rigidity. What it does, it gives a particular shape, otherwise it gives a definite shape for what a cell, and it gives a strength to the cell, and it gives a rigidity for the cell. Already have touched the plant stems. How it will be? It will be solid in its nature. It will be very tough, we can say. It is because of the cell wall. Understanding? It is because of the cell wall rigidity property. What happened? It will be very toughest. And next about the strength and the shape. So it gives only what the cell wall. What happens? The cell wall provides what? Cell wall provides a definite shape, strength, and the rigidity. It also provides the protection against the mechanical stress and the physical shocks. What are the mechanical stress? Sometimes you will bend the plant. There is sometime what you do, you hold the plant very tightly. So those all we can say mechanical stresses. So from that who will protect? Cell wall protect the plant from the mechanical stress. Like physical shocks I have said. So what are the physical shocks? So like a winter season there will be very cold weather will be there. And in summer season so much of hot will be there. So these all we can say what are physical shocks. So the cell wall helps to protect the cell wall by those all the physical shocks. So next is about it helps to control the cell expansion due to the intake of the water. I have said you by the property of the osmosis, by the process of the osmosis. So what happen? Water will comes into the cell. That time, so what should happen? Cell will gain the water and it should expand its shape. Is it right? So who will control the expansion of the cell here? Cell wall helps in the controlling the expansion of the cell wall. It should not expand more. So there are the chances of the bursting. So what happens? The cell wall controls the expansion of the cell wall. When what will be coming inside? So that who will control? Cell wall control the expansion of the cell. Understanding? So next is about it helps in the preventing the water loss from the cell. You know in the season of the summer, so there will be maximum water loss. So water pool will be taking place. So what happens if all the water will be evaporated? So that plant will be not having any water, it may dry. Is it right? So who will help? Cell wall helps in water preventing the water loss. Maximum water loss should not be happen by the plants and all. Is it right? So who will protect? So cell wall will protect the maximum water loss from the plants. It is responsible for the transporting the substance between and across the cell. So sometime I have said you some material should move from the cell to the outer medium, and from the outer medium some material should come into the cell. So who will control here? That's who is responsible here? Cell wall. Cell wall is a, you know that it's a freely permeable membrane, so that all the material will come into the cell and also goes out to the outer medium. So it is because of what? By the cell wall. So next is about it acts as a barrier between the interior cellular components and the external environment. So it is like a barrier, we can say. It's like a wall it is. So unwanted things should not come into the cell. So it avoids them. It prevents the intake of the unwanted things to the cell. So it acts like a barrier for the components of the interior cellular components and the external environment. It is freely permeable to the water and substance in the solution. Already have said you, it will be containing small pores called as the pits. So those helps to transfer all the substances which are present in the which are present in the water. So that what happen? So water freely they will move into the cell, and also it exits from the cell. Understanding? So it is about what a function of the cell wall. I hope you all understood the today's topic, that is about the cell wall. Its nature we studied, and its structure, even the function of the cell wall we have studied. In next class we will study in detail about the nucleus. If you have any difficulty, you ask me by my personal WhatsApp number. If you have any difficulty, let me know. Thank you.